Jesus. It's spicy. Woo! Lord have mercy. Fire. Like the air is spicy right now. Y'all understand? Hey y'all, welcome to Kamira's Kitchen. Guys, this is probably one of the most highly requested videos that I have had from my true and loyal followers. They want to know what spices I use in my kitchen and what I deem the essentials. So today I'm going to be showing you guys my favorite spices. Now, I'm going to tell you the truth. This is not all the spices in my kitchen because guys, we can be here all day. Okay, I got like 3 cabinets full of spices and herbs and juices and berries. Okay, I can't show y'all all of that. All right, but I am going to show you the ones that I use the most when I cook on my channel, and also ones that I tend to reach for the most just in everyday cooking. All right, so you guys know that I love bouillons. I use this in so many recipes. So let's take a look at what we have here. So this one, I have it rolled over because I do use it a lot. This is Vegeta. You guys see me use this a lot when I make rices and a lot of vegetable dishes. Sometimes I want that little oomph of flavor, but I don't want like a chicken or beef flavor. That is when I will reach for Vegeta. Rice, specifically a lot in vegetables, okay? So I'm gonna link this in the description box. This is actually like a European spice mix. So it probably isn't available in stores. However, you can find it in Wegmans, all right? So also, you guys, y'all already know, okay, the bouillons, the beef bouillon, I like chicken. I know some of you guys don't like the MSG. I started playing around with this one. This is like a naturals one. It doesn't have MSG. It also has less sodium and it's very good. So you can use either one of these, all right? Also, you guys also know that I reach for better than bouillon. Y'all, this is the Costco size. Actually, this is the best deal. It's at Costco. You get a big size for like $8. And so I don't make chicken broth. I don't buy chicken broth, I should say. I always make it from a combination of one of these two. Like, I actually most often, I should say, when I make my chicken broth, I use this and this together, or this one and this together. I don't know what it is, but they have a different flavor. So that's typically what I am doing if I'm picking a bouillon, all right? All right, guys, so I'm gonna be showing you all like some of my main spices I use a lot. Now, these ain't all the spices I use. I know we like a lot, but I'm gonna show you some of the mains. And a few of them are ones I made myself. So I always love smoked paprika. This is very versatile. It has a smoky flavor, okay? You guys have seen me use this a lot, this Lawry's chicken rub. I pretty much don't ever use it alone, but it's a nice chicken seasonings. Now, y'all know me and Tony go way back like a Cadillac, okay? Now, I have recently really started loving the spices and herbs because it has like a little kick to it. And I think it even has less sodium. Yes, it does have less sodium. But I do use the regular Toney's a lot as well. This is my salt-free Cajun seasoning. I'm gonna show you guys how I make this in this video, so keep watching, all right? This is like the arsenal here, okay? These two, you don't know what to do, you can always use these two on something, okay? Right here is an onion and herb seasoning that I also make myself. This seasoning blend, roasted garlic and herb, is some of the best on steak. I love this on some beef, even by itself. It's very good. Sazon Tropical. Now, I know this says it is for meats and fish, but actually I love this in some flavored rice as well. This amazing blazing Cajun. Okay, this was sent to me by Heaven Made. This is probably one of the best salt-free Cajun seasonings on the market that I have personally tried. So I'll link this in the description if you don't want to make it yourself. Now, this one is very spicy because this one has the habanero, but they also have a mild version. I have not tried that one, but if it's anything like this one, it's very good. All right. So thyme, this is actually my favorite herb. So I use lots of dried thyme in everything. We all know Old Bay, classic here for your seafood. cinnamon as well as nutmeg. Now let me say something about the nutmeg. You do need to grate your nutmeg fresh. I have this little mini grater. It was about $2 at TJ Maxx. It does make a difference. So don't buy ground up nutmeg because that's gonna lose its potency very quickly, all right? Now for my mac and cheese, you guys know that I throw these in here for the color in mac and cheese all the time. So I love this one in mac. I actually use it on chicken and other things, but mostly I use it in mac and cheese and rice. And this ham one, if you watched my video where I did the pigeon peas and rice Southern style with the sausage, you would have seen me use this. This is a really good seasoning. I mostly reach for it in that recipe, but it's so good in there that I feel like it's worth mentioning. So as well as using thyme, I do also use a lot of rosemary. So this is a little jar. It doesn't have a label on it because I actually dry this myself. So I use a lot of dried rosemary. Dried rosemary goes perfectly with chicken. So if you, or also turkey, okay, any poultry really will complement rosemary as well as like a steak. So you know that garlic and herb seasoning that I show you, if you use a little rosemary too, those will go very good together, all right? Also, I like dried basil, and not just in Italian dishes. Basil really adds a nice herbal flavor to a lot of your meals, as well as oregano. Now, oregano is a spice, well, I should say herb, that's gonna add a little bit of a citrusy note. It's not like lemon or orange, but it has a natural little citrus punch in there. I really enjoy oregano. It's nice and earthy, so I would use these in combination a lot. And I'm gonna show you how to make an onion and herb seasoning that uses all of them. All right, so I'm gonna show y'all what I brought back from Louisiana. Now, y'all know I smuggled some loot out of Louisiana. I didn't, y'all, if you've been reading my community posts, you guys know I went to New Orleans and I brought back some spices. So this is what I have. Now, I've tried a couple of them. I don't actually know how most of them taste. So if you have tried some of these, let me know in the comments what's the best thing to use them on. So the first one I got, honestly, it was the packaging that did me in. And this packaging is so cute, oh my gosh. So I have these spices by Andy Ruiz. Okay, this one says Louisiana barbecue shrimp. Okay, if you are from NOLA, okay, why do they call it barbecue shrimp when there ain't no barbecue on it? I don't get it, okay, I don't get it. Like the recipe, it tells me here to add some Worcester sauce and this seasoning and butter, but no barbecue. Like, what's up with that, okay? So when I looked at the ingredients actually for the grilled fish and the barbecue shrimp, I think they're actually kind of similar. So I've just been using this one. Now I had actually used this one on some whole snapper. I cut it up, I put this one and this seasoning together on some snapper and some little bit of salt, and I put it in the air fryer and it was delicious. Okay, so I have tried that, though I have not tried this one yet. All right, but what I can see is that it's very low sodium. So anyone who's concerned about sodium, you can use this Cajun seasoning. I'll link it below because they are on Amazon. Now, y'all know Mr. Magic. Now, the Magic, Mr. Magic, he be in North Carolina for a while. So I have used some of these. So I have used Seafood Magic before, and I love this one. I have used the Meat Magic. Unfortunately, the top broke. But this is very good. I've tried this on hamburgers. I have put this on steak. This is a nice, very nice versatile seasoning. I have used this seasoning on some chicken thighs with a little bit of chicken bouillon, a little bit of mixed herbs. This is wonderful. I think it's great. And you guys, you know, I tried this one on the fish. Now these two, okay, now this one is a really interesting one because this one says spicy Cajun seasoning. Now what I don't get is that it's not spicy. Like if you look at the ingredients, there is no cayenne pepper in it, and cayenne is a pepper, so it has to actually be listed. So this is 0% spicy. Also, I feel like this one, if you look inside of here, is mostly like mixed herbs with a little paprika on it. So this one, it's called a Cajun seasoning. This isn't what I'm used to as a Cajun seasoning. If you're Cajun, let me know. Is this typical? But I would say it's a good spice mix, but it's kind of like mixed herbs to me. I also got their Creole seasoning, And so what's funny is that this one, now that I've looked at it closely, looks like that other seasoning, except it doesn't have paprika in it. So if you're Creole, is that Creole seasoning? Okay, am I just mixed up? Am I just confused? Okay, let me know. Next is Dano's. Now, I actually only found this in the Walmart in Louisiana. I haven't seen this in my Walmart. I'm sure you guys have seen this all over social media. Have not tried it. I got the hot chipotle one. If you've tried it, let me know if it's any good, all right, and what you use it on. And then lastly, I got the barbecue shrimp seasoning by River Road. Again, it's just a nice seasoning mix, pretty low sodium. So I look forward to using this, and I feel like with the herbs that are in here, I can actually use this on a lot of things. All right, so we're gonna make my salt-free Cajun seasoning. These are available in stores, but I tend to just whip up my own the majority of the time. Now, the ingredients that are in here are pretty common. You can find these anywhere, and most of you probably have these in your pantry already. So let me just show you what we're working with. The main thing that I feel like you have to use is smoked paprika. Now, this one is called Kashmiri chili powder. Don't let this, scare you. I get this from the Indian store. This is not like Cajun, but it's pretty much like paprika, but it is super bright. Okay, it's really bright. In fact, I'll just pour some in here so y'all can see. It's really bright red. So I tend to use that one, but regular paprika is fine. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, I'll be honest with y'all, okay? When I'm making this, okay, I don't be measuring like that. I'm gonna try to measure for y'all, okay? So I've already put in probably about half a tablespoon. I'm gonna go ahead and add another tablespoon of this Kashmiri chili powder. Remember, smoked paprika is fine. Regular paprika is fine. Now the smoked paprika, I'm running a little bit low, but I'm gonna see if I can get at least a good tablespoon and a half. All right, so I got a tablespoon. Yep, it's about a tablespoon and a half in there. That's gonna pretty much be all of this container. All right, so I'm also gonna add in some pepper. This is black pepper. I just added it to this white pepper container. Y'all know we ain't throwing that away. Okay, I'm gonna put in a little less than a tablespoon. Probably could do half a tablespoon. This is freshly ground. And then I like to do white pepper. I feel like white pepper and black pepper are different. A lot of people ask me what's the difference between white pepper and black pepper. Black pepper is a little bit stronger. Has a bit more of a punch. White pepper is a little bit milder. You'll see in quite a few Chinese dishes or some other Asian dishes they will use white pepper. All right, so I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna add in, let me do my half a tablespoon. I'm gonna add half a tablespoon of white pepper. Now let me tell y'all, I didn't even used to have measuring spoons. I just got these just so I could try to measure for y'all. Okay, when I started YouTube, but I didn't even have that back then. All right, now I'm gonna do onion, a good tablespoon. Some garlic powder. To me, I love using the herbs here. If you don't have all three, rosemary, thyme, and basil, I always will pick thyme. Okay, if I can't find them all, I will always pick thyme. And I will do a teaspoon of each one of these. I think that herbs just add another dimension to your cooking. So I'm gonna put about a teaspoon of thyme. And y'all, this is flexible. So there are plenty of times where I didn't have basil and I just did a tablespoon of thyme. Don't think too hard about it, okay? It's cooking, it's not deep, all right? And then I'm also gonna add a little rosemary. I feel like this is not typical for a Cajun blend, but I like it. Now, this one is experimental. I have been reading some Cajun cooking cookbooks, and they have put a little mustard powder in their Cajun blend. I don't know if that's standard. I have never done it, but we're gonna do it today. All right, so this is totally optional, but I'm gonna throw in like a teaspoon and see if I like it, because I like mustard on chicken and stuff like that, or even ribs if you use it to stick. ribs and stuff like that. Actually, let me do about a teaspoon, about 2 teaspoons. So I'm gonna throw in some mustard powder. I feel like this should be delicious and not mustardy. Now, the spice, right? I do not have cayenne pepper, but what I do have, these are dried spicy peppers from my garden. I'm gonna grind them up in my coffee grinder into a powder and use that like cayenne pepper. Oh, that was quick. All right, I'm gonna just pulse it just a little bit more. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Woo! Lord have mercy. If you do this, y'all wear a face mask. It's getting in my nose. Oh my gosh. Y'all, all right, let me knock it down just so it does not puff up. Okay. Okay. There we go. I'm gonna add a tablespoon. And see, the thing about it is with this fresh pepper, I'm not gonna do more than that because these fresh peppers got a kick. And so you don't wanna get crazy with it. So these are all my spices. And I'm just gonna mix these up. Now you can play with these measurements any way that you like. There are times where I want it to be redder, so I simply just add in a little bit more paprika, okay? There are times where I want it to be more garlicky, so I throw in some more garlic, right? Don't think too hard about it, all right? This is your base. Like, the air is spicy right now. Y'all understand? Oh my gosh, okay. So, let me talk about a few key pointers though, okay? So, I am probably gonna end up just storing this in this jar. This is my empty smoked paprika jar, because y'all, I don't be buying them little cute spice jars that some of y'all get, or what I like to do is, like this thyme jar, I done had this thing for 3 years. I just keep filling it up with more of the bulk spice. Or I'll stick it in like a jam jar or something like that, and I'll keep it. Now, one big tip I want to give for you guys is, well, actually a couple tips. Number one, whenever you're mixing your own blends, make sure you're using fresh spices, okay? This is not the time to try to use up anything you think is kind of expired and then just throw it in a blend. That is not going to bring it back to life, okay? Don't do it. You're gonna just ruin your spice mix. So make sure everything you've purchased, is fresh. Now, ground spices tend to be good for about 6 months, 8 months, if they are unopened especially. So for instance, like you'll usually see on the top of these spice blends, it'll say best before, this one says 2025. Now, remember though, that was before you opened it. Once you've opened it and you started exposing it to air, that's different, okay? I feel like they're used best within about 6 to about 8 months, all right? Another tip, where to store these. I store these in my cabinet, all right? This cabinet, if you can see, my oven is right here. My stove is right here. Now mine is covered with spices, but y'all know I usually got food on it, okay? But it's not directly over the stove. I see a lot of people store their spices like in a cabinet above their stove or like right above their oven. That is actually not a good idea, okay? And the reason for that is because the heat from your stovetop deteriorates spices. Also, another big mistake I see is that people will have a spice rack here all open for display. I know you think it looks cute, but light deteriorates spices. That's why it is best to store your spices in a cabinet away from the heat, okay? They're gonna last the longest that way. Also, your whole spices are going to store longer. That nutmeg I showed you, if I had that nutmeg for over a year, and that's fine because it is whole, but ground spices are gonna deteriorate quicker. All right, so sometimes I will say that I'm using an onion and herb seasoning. You can actually buy onion and herb mixes that are salt-free, but I typically will just make it myself. So for starters, I'm gonna, of course, use onion. You can use powdered onion, you can use chopped onion. I don't measure most of the time, but I'm gonna try to show you guys, okay? So I'm gonna put in about 2 tablespoons of onion because that is indeed the base. All right, then I am going to go in with some garlic, about 1 tablespoon. Then the next thing that's in the base is pepper. All right, now you don't want this to be overwhelming, but you do need a little bit of pepper in there. So I'm only just going to use about a 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper and about a 1/2 teaspoon of white pepper. You don't need both. So I don't want you to look at these spice blends and think, well, I got to go get everything Kamira has. I want you to go look in your pantry and see what you have and make it work, okay? Now, with my onion and herb seasoning, I like to use a lot of rosemary, all right? So I'm actually gonna go in with about 1/2 tablespoon of rosemary. It's one of the more dominant herbs in this particular blend that I make. Well, actually, this is probably end up being more about a tablespoon. Y'all, look at what I'm doing. Don't worry about what I'm saying, okay? Y'all see the measuring spoon, okay? Y'all see it. Okay, now this is some marjoram. I buy it in bulk, that's why it's in a little packet. This is about a teaspoon. This is poultry seasoning. This is just a bunch of seasonings that's already blended up. Now this is my favorite one, which is from Sprouts, and I have to end up buying it in bulk. About a teaspoon. I have other dried herbs here. Y'all know I love thyme. I'm gonna throw in, about 1/2 teaspoon. Yeah, you know what, y'all? I'm lying. Let me stop playing. I'm gonna do a full teaspoon. Y'all know I be liking sometimes. Okay. Also, I'm doing dried basil. This is a fresh one from a local farm. We go ahead and just do a nice teaspoon of that, and a teaspoon of oregano. All right, now you could add salt to this, but I'm not. Oh, one thing I forgot. I actually like to add some crushed red pepper. Not even if you don't like things that are spicy, I encourage you to use some peppers in your cooking, just a little bit, because the warmth from peppers like cayenne, it actually will enhance other flavors, even if you don't make the dish spicy. So a little bit goes a long way. This is not a spicy blend, I promise you, okay? So I'm gonna go in with about a teaspoon and a half. May seem like a lot, but it's very little in compared to everything. Plus, it just looks so pretty in the blend. Okay, a little red. All right, so I'm gonna mix this up. If you like, you can actually put this in a coffee grinder and grind it, or you can leave it as is. All right, so this also could be used like a Tuscan blend. You can use this in spaghettis. I use this in my baked ziti. You can put this in a lot of things. And if you want to add more onion, maybe you feel like it's too spicy for you, you shake in some more onion, okay? Don't think too deep, all right? It's cooking, it's not the law, baby, okay? So I'm gonna put this in a bottle as well. All right, guys, so I hope you all enjoyed this video and learned some spices maybe you want to put in your cabinet. Now, I want to remind you all that I do cook a lot, and I'm a big family, but I cook all the time, so I'm continuously going through spices. If you don't cook as often, or if you don't cook as much food as I do, I want to caution you from just going out and just buying everything that Kamira has, because I want to be like Kamira, I want to cook like her. I get where you may be coming from, but what may happen is that they may go bad on you, and you're not going to have the turnover necessary to keep them fresh. Remember, I told you about how quickly they can go bad. So what I would encourage you to do is try a few at a time. Use them up, see if your family likes them, and then add or take away as you go forward, because you don't want to have too many and then they go bad. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments which ones you are going to go out and purchase, and then which ones you have already tried that you love. Don't forget that I love you and Jesus loves you. God bless everybody who watches and supports this channel. You guys mean so much to me. Thank you and goodbye.